welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. You know, we had to get back to doing a Friday Live. You know, the last time we did Friday Lives, we were doing the Sex and the City spinoff, and just like that. And of course, we were doing the recaps of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 1, which we loved. We loved it. And I have to say, I wasn't sure about Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Ex-Wives Club. Just because of the cast, I'm like, I love me some Dorinda. I was excited for Dorinda. I was excited for Jill Zarin coming back. I was on the fence about Phaedra, and maybe I expected too much from Phaedra because I kind of felt like, I don't know. We'll talk about it. And you guys will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts. But first off, happy Friday. I know here in our country right now, it's probably not the happiest of Fridays. We got to talk about what's been in the news. Although we cover pop culture, there's nothing more pop culture than what's going on in our country when it comes to women's rights and when it comes to women's bodies. Look, I am fully under the understanding that the majority of the people that watch our channel are women. So when things affect you, it affects me. But one of the quotes that I live by, and I've said this before here on this channel, is that an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Today, the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, along with a few other things. I know a lot of people are just talking about that, but this goes back to the quote that I was talking about. An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Today, it's women's bodies. Tomorrow, it will be something else. We don't get political on here on the channel, but these are serious times that people should be paying attention to. Yes, we're going to kiki and we're going to talk about people falling over themselves. Some of our favorite ladies from the Real Housewives. But there's no way that we can talk about women and say we need to, preserve women and protect women without talking about the serious nature of what went down today. We already knew, we talked about this on our community tab. And again, guys, there are certain topics that we don't talk about, on the channel in video form that you should be checking out on our community tab or our Discord. So today was a day that if you have not done your due diligence in reading up, because I know sometimes, look, I'm not one to watch the news like that either. However, today is a day that you need to be aware, again, as another reminder on why voting, both nationally and locally, is very, very important. So again, we're going to move on, but there is no way that we could go live today and not talk about what's going on in our country. Sidebar, my DMs were hot today. We will talk about the Real Housewives of Dubai next week, but I've been getting all kinds of information. But since we're talking about the whole what's going on in our country today, it got a little political. I'll say political on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. But we heard this. If you've been following the tea or our reports, then we heard that there was a big battle between Dorinda and Vicki Gunvalson over the vaccine. And Tamara, you were very quiet on the situation. But she's from the Orange County, so I'm not surprised. But with all of that being said, let's break down. There's the first 3 episodes of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip were revealed, premiered yesterday. As you know, we already knew this was coming. We've been waiting on this to come. So unlike season 1, where they went to an exotic location, we went back to Dorinda's home. According to Dorinda, they were only supposed to film for like 3-4 days, but they ended up filming for like 8. I believe we're supposed to be getting like 6 or 7 episodes. Esther says Vicki is the original Karen. I don't know. Is she? I mean, when I think of Karen, I think of one particular person, but I don't know if I consider Vicki just a Karen. I was about to say, I don't know if Deborah says Tamara's smart. She kept her mouth closed, but I'm looking at Tamara. I see why people like Tamara and why they want Tamara to come back to the Real Housewives Orange County, Real Housewives of Orange County. But so one of the first things that we noticed with the Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip Ex-Wives Club in season 2 is although we've been to the Berkshires and we've been to Bluestone Manor, we're actually getting to see Bluestone Manor. I thought we saw it, but we really did not see it. We didn't see the road leading up to Bluestone Manor. We didn't see did we see the pool? We probably saw the pool, but we didn't really see the pool or really the outside, the way that we're seeing the outside. It's a beautiful home. And although Dorinda's style may not be your style, it works for this house. And every room has I have to say, I think Dorinda inspired what I do in my own home because I've given all the rooms a different theme. I got the Moroccan room, I have the India inspired room, and these are from like my trips and things like that. So I was like, oh, let me go with a theme. I got it from Dorinda. Lord. Wait a second, y'all. Let me take a sip. Thirsty. Someone said Vicki is a Tara, a Karen and a Tara. That might be a better depiction. And we have to keep in mind, Dorinda did renovate Bluestone Manor. And you already know, if you've been following the tea this week online in leading up to the premiere of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, was the battle between Vicki and Dorinda in their separate interviews. I'm not that interested in their battle, to be honest with you. I'm not that interested. But Dorinda, as you probably saw, if you're here, you more than likely, if you have not seen Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2, spoilers will be made, okay? So Dorinda is making it nice. And Dorinda, I don't care what Vicki Gunvalson says, she is a great host. Controlling? Yes. But she's a great host. She really made it nice. They all had it wasn't just like one little thing she left in their room. It was a basket full of things. Anyone else felt like she said it was J. Crew. I think Jill said it was J. Crew pajamas. So they probably felt good. They just didn't look good to me. Maybe if it was a different color, maybe if it was more like a warm color. The white, I was just like, I wasn't impressed with that. But I love the fact that she had them embroidered for everyone. She made it nice. But she also has a staff. Normally, she doesn't usually have a staff. She has like her, her house manager, but that's it. But no, she has a butler. Marco, at first, when she said he was cute, I was like, we haven't seen him without his mask yet. But then we do. He is cute and has a personality. Hopefully he won't sleep with Brandi like what we had with Luann. Well, they didn't sleep with each other, but we don't know that. We don't know that. But I like his personality. To me, he's actually more interesting than, I can't even remember the guy's name from season 1. I can't even remember. We can't even remember. But from the moment Vicki Gunvalson gets into the car to go to the Berkshires, first of all, she doesn't even know where the Berkshires is. But all of you judging her, a lot of you didn't know where the Berkshires were. Me either. Before we were introduced to it. Okay? Well, some of you did. Okay, we know. Some of you did. But we got familiar with the Berkshires. Vicki Gunvalson is like, where are we going? We're going to the Hamptons? No, Vicki. But the minute she got in the car, she was so hateful. But we also have to remember the timeline. That damn Steve Lodge, she had to buy her own engagement ring? That's sad. Vicki, if you didn't, at your big age, like what are you telling your daughter? At your big age, you're buying your own engagement ring. She's like, well, I knew what he wanted to be able to, what he was able to afford for me, I wouldn't like. Oh, so there's certain things that you like. That means you need to be with someone that can afford those things. It seems as if you really just took whatever you would get, and that explains a lot. That man left her and married someone else already. They were together, 6 years, engaged 2? She had to buy her own ring. I felt for Vicki in the beginning of this episode, but leading up to her going to the Berkshires. She was such a Debbie Downer. But we have to keep in mind she had just broken up with her boyfriend, her fiance. But she was just like, it's old. It's there's nothing to do here. And then we were seeing like old clips of her because I don't know OC like that. I don't know OC like that. I know like the gossip, but I don't know OC like that. But based on the clips, it looks like she's a lot of fun when she wants to be. But I also understand why Vicki was good reality TV. Based off of this return to reality TV, return to Real Housewives, do you think that Vicki should come back to OC? Thank you, Sharon, for the reminder. And she had no sex with the man for 13 months. And he was living at her Mexico home. So she would be flying back and forth to go see him. Vicki, if you don't get some sort of self-esteem at your big age. Oh, wait, hold on. Damn, Sheila said no. No, thank you. Oh, Shantae says yes, but I'm seeing a lot of, okay, Roy says yes. No, oh, no. Deborah says, Kempire, you're sleeping on the old RHOC. How am I sleeping on it? I think that's so interesting. Foxy says he was using her. Jamila says Vicki should not go back to RHOC. Why not? I mean, I can see why she was popular, honestly. I can see, oh, damn. Not held to the no. Naturally says yes. Well, it seems like it's mixed. And it seems like Ultimate Girls Trip is sort of like probation. Not even probation. It seems like jail. Bravo has put these ladies in jail, and now they're trying to test them out to see who's going to return. Based on what you've seen in episodes 1, 2, and 3, based on those 3 episodes, who do you think needs to return to their city ASAP? Live chat, replay crew. I want to know, who do you think, after what you've seen on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip X Wives Club, this is too long, Bravo, Peacock. Too long. Who do you think should return? Not all of them return. Really? No, come on. Now you're being dramatic. Phaedra, Dorinda, and Phaedra. Really? Phaedra? Someone said Eva. We got to talk about Eva. Hold on. Okay, Phaedra and Eva. Someone else has said Eva as well. I have to say, we're getting a different Eva. I actually like this Eva that we're getting. And also the Eva that we got during the quarantine reunion. And sometimes you got to give these housewives some time to kind of get their swing of things in that environment. But Eva's good friends with Kenya. Eva's good friends with, who knew that Eva knew Phaedra for so long? I wonder how she navigates that friendship along, because she's good friends with Kenya. She's good friends with Candy. Apparently Kenya and Phaedra still talk because Kenya warned Phaedra about Brandi Glanville. We'll talk about Brandi in a second. So no one wants Tamara to come back? Because that's not your first thing. Okay, before we even get to Bluestone Manor, we get to see the kids that we've all grown up and watched grow up on this show. Phaedra and her sons, they're all grown up. Kennedy, you remember Kennedy? Kennedy's a teenager now. I don't know what I thought, but I completely forgot about Kennedy. Growing up beautiful. Taylor has been through some things, y'all. I'm so happy that she's moved on. Taylor, Kennedy's doing better. She's remarried. But they're reliving some of the things that have played out on the show, including their feuds. Taylor and Brandi had a feud, but she explains why exactly when Brandi shaded at her about writing a book so soon after the death of her husband. She explains, I had no idea where the money was. So I had to make money until all of that stuff was finalized. And her writing that book was one of the ways that she had to do it. We'll get back to that. Guys, you will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts. But before we get to that, as you know, it's Pride Month. It's literally big old Pride weekend here in New York City. And we have Pride merch. Get that stuff while I love this water bottle right now, y'all. This came today in the mail. Oh my God. It's sort of like a matte. It's like a matte finish on this water bottle. Y'all know I love my Coldest. Shout out to Coldest. But for Pride, and it feels like quality. I like it, and it's a good size. Like if you like, my Coldest water bottle is great, and they do have smaller sizes. But this one is hard for me to kind of carry around because it's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit bigger. But when I'm on the go, I'm going to take this with me on the go. Along with if I have anything hot. Look, yes, I am hawking my wares. I am hawking my wares. Guys, head on over to teamkempire.com/shop for all of our Pride merch, t-shirts, sweatshirts. Oh, and pillows. Look at this. Look at that. Pillows. Come on, get your pillows now. Get your pillows now. Anyways, back to Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So in episode 1, it's called Return to Bluestone Manor. All right. I love that we're back at Bluestone Manor. I really do agree with Dorinda, because I know a lot of them are like, oh, what do you mean you were put on pause? You put on pause. No, Dorinda was definitely put on pause. Very much like Roni was put on pause. Dorinda was definitely put on pause. These other ladies were fired. Anyone agree with me? The other ladies were fired, meaning that their contracts weren't renewed. But Dorinda was put on pause because we didn't want Dorinda to go, but Dorinda was going through things. She was going through things. But the fans didn't want Dorinda to go. And I believe the producers didn't want Dorinda to go. Allegedly, they're filming Real Housewives of New York Legacy with Dorinda. And I've been a big advocate for Jill Zarin. So Jill's not in the first episode. Jill comes in the second episode. And she tries to recreate the Scary Island moment. Hello, surprise, I'm here. But unlike Dorinda, who's very likable, and I'm sure she has great relationships with Bravo, I believe Jill has burned a lot of bridges. I think she was a terror behind the scenes. I think that's part of the reason why Jill Zarin has not returned to Roni. There's no reason why Jill shouldn't have been a part of Roni for a lot longer than 4 seasons. She should have been there a lot longer. I like Jill. I mean, not as a friend, but for TV. I didn't love the years with her and Bethany, but I still wanted her to be there. Why did some of the ladies, they were like, who's that? Phaedra was like, who's that? I did laugh to myself when they were looking out the window before Jill got there in the episode 1. And they're looking out, and she's showing, Dorinda's showing Phaedra, and I forgot who else. I guess maybe Eva was with her. The tree that they decorated for her late husband. And she's like, who's that? Who's that man she's talking about? Oh, Dorinda. Dorinda. I love Dorinda. I love Dorinda's quirkiness. I think the biggest part of me getting excited for this new season of Ultimate Girls Trip was Dorinda's return. Honestly. Anyone else? Oh, yes. Thank you, Storm. I couldn't remember. I couldn't even think of Richard's name. She was like, who's Richard? Exactly. Because she just said, didn't she used to check Ramona? Uh-huh. I always thought to myself, though, with Dorinda being on Real Housewives of New York, they do bring up that, and I don't know if you're a big Roni connoisseur, you knew Dorinda was in season 4. There you see her in the footage, but she wasn't a part of the show. She knew Jill. She really knows these people. I always think to myself, what would have, what Roni would have looked like with Jill and Dorinda on the show? I think they would have fought, but I think they would have found their way to each other, very much like how she's able to find her way back to being friends with someone like Ramona. So I think that's interesting. I definitely think that you're going to get Dorinda back on your TV screens. More than likely, it will be Legacy, since the Roni reboot's coming, and it's not going to be what we're used to. It's going to be a complete reboot. So much happened in this. I don't want to forget anything, but you guys will call in. You'll share your favorite moments. Live chat. Feel free to share your favorite moments from the first 3 episodes of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Is now available on Peacock. They're not paying me, but they should. So I would literally rewatch these 3 episodes a couple of times just to kind of capture what's happening here. So as you know, let me just remind you who's a part of this new season. All right. As you can see, we'll start from the left. Brandi Glanville. Let's start there. Let's just start with Brandi. So at first I was like, and I think Brandi does this to me all the time, and they literally say it in episode 3 that Brandi, when she's not drinking, is very likable. She's very likable. And then she drinks, and then she's like this whole other person. Do you guys think that Brandi has an alcohol problem? Look, I'm not an expert, but we've seen this behavior over and over again, but she's still drinking. Sidebar, her son looks just like Eddie Cibrian. Cute. Such a cutie patootie. And I kind of like their unconventional dynamic, the way she's talking to her son. I know some people probably looked at it like, what the hell? Why is she talking to her son about stuff like that? That's weird. But you know what I thought to myself? Because you know how I feel about Leah McSweeney. Was Leah trying to be like Brandi Glanville? Is that what Leah was trying to do? Because after seeing Brandi on this show, I'm like, yeah, after this, you don't need to come back. Because as I said to you before, I feel like this is sort of their probation. They come on the show and this is their probation. And then Bravo will decide if they're going to return to their franchise. Brandi, nope. I don't see Brandi coming back. And I can see why they haven't brought her back. Like her antics to me, and I tweeted this earlier, her antics to me feel as they lean more towards problematic than entertaining. Anyone understand what I mean by that? Like they're not entertaining. Like I wouldn't be surprised if she smacks someone during this. And the constant like, oh, we're all gonna get naked and we're gonna do that. I'm just like, girl. Like even though she says on this, I've evolved, I've changed, I've grown up. Where? Have you guys seen her grow up? It seems like the same exact Brandi that we were introduced to many years ago. Many years ago. Let me see, because you guys don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. Bag Lady says Brandi is much too trashy for Beverly Hills. That part too. That's probably another reason why they don't bring her back. Theo says that Brandi crosses the line a lot. Housewives in the Berkshires, baby. Patrice says Brandi would be a mess on the current season of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't even know how she would even fit in there. Brandi is a train wreck. Wait, I saw someone that says that they like Brandi. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Esther says, I was entertained. Sorry. You don't have to apologize for having your opinion here. No, thank you, Brandi. Brandi is still the same. Luella says Brandi has grown, yes, but she has issues with drinking. Brandi's voice is annoying. Oh my gosh. Chef Don, thank you so much for this. He says she still made Taylor's story about her. So as you already know, Taylor and Brandi had issues on Beverly Hills. So they talk about those issues. And poor Taylor, she's like, by the end of the conversation, she's like, I'm more mad at you now. But she's ready to just like put it to the side because she's like, I'm not going to see this woman. Taylor lives in the OC. Do you guys want to see Taylor come back? I don't think I need Taylor to come back. Not to Beverly Hills, not to OC. Okay, Rakita says, I'm loving Brandi. Well, let's be honest. These first 3 episodes really are around Brandi. So, although I don't love her on the show, these episodes are really surrounded around her. Like she's battling with everyone. She's battling with Vicki. That dinner that they had at that home after they got their coffee reading, when the ladies when she was like, every time I look at Taylor yelling at me, I see that meme, the cat meme. But she really was like yelling. I was like, I was scared. And then to see that Vicki was yelling at the same time, to look, they were all ganging up on Brandi. Although I'm not defending Brandi, but that was a little interesting. Bree says, so funny. Klaus says, I liked Taylor when she used to be on Beverly Hills, but not now. Her lips look smaller. I just need Taylor, whoever is doing Taylor's eyelashes, please stop. Go to someone new. Go to someone new. Because I feel like that takes away from her beauty. Like, I feel like she could probably be beautiful, but I feel like that takes away. Like, it's just like, but I like her. I like the little friendship that's happening between Taylor and Eva. Anyone else? I like that. I didn't see that coming. And I like when that happens on this show. We saw that on season 1 with friendships, and we're seeing that again on this show. And it seems like the Real Housewives of Atlanta ladies are reigning supreme when it comes to their confessionals. I have to say, Eva and Phaedra's confessionals are making me laugh. However, I think I expected more from Phaedra, and I kind of feel like Phaedra is just sort of there. And I don't know. I think maybe I expected too much from Phaedra. So for me, now I'm just kind of looking at Phaedra like, I don't know. Anyone else? Like, I'm not mad at Phaedra being there, but I'm just sort of like, did I expect too much? And I feel like Phaedra has become a parody of herself. Anyone else? Or maybe I just haven't seen Phaedra in such a long time. So now seeing her now, it's sort of like, I don't know. I don't know. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hold on. Gloria says, Faye-Faye's funny. Phaedra is there to react at the crazy women. Deborah says, I love Phaedra. What Phaedra is the show? I don't think Phaedra is the show. You might be doing a little much there. But you have a right to your opinion. King Tora says Phaedra is the comic relief on the show. Quentin says, I think she's hilarious. K Baby says Phaedra is just there to chill and do commentary. Well, apparently you guys agree, except Courtney agrees with me. Look, Courtney agrees with me. Courtney said, you right, Camp. See? Hold on. Sheila says, are those lesbian eyebrows? See, that's the thing for me. And mind, if the woman was a lesbian, then I would have been like, okay. But the woman is not a lesbian. She's married to this man, and Brandi, and that's why I say Brandi's antics on the show for me lean more towards problematic than funny. Oh, why'd you think that she was a lesbian? Her eyebrows. Oh, so some stereotypical thing that you've created in your mind. And let's not forget, Brandi has had some very problematic moments over the years on being on this franchise. All right. Hector says, we are not watching the same program. No, Hector, we are watching the same program, but we all have different perceptions and views, and that's okay. That's okay. Sheriff says, Kempire, no, I don't. That's my view. Exactly. And I think that's what it is. She says she's being careful. She wants her job back. All right. Let me see. D Nice says Phaedra is not good in the moment, only makes faces. All right. Theo says, I think Dorinda, Brandi, and Tamara are the big personalities. Well, I didn't expect for Dorinda to come out the way that she came out. I also thought that Dorinda would pull back in regards to being on this show, especially because she's been put on pause. So I didn't expect her to come out swinging, and she does. She comes out swinging in the first 3 episodes of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Let me say thank you. We got a couple of super chats. Melinda, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I can't concentrate. The only thing running through my mind is Dorinda touching the food and licking her finger. And that's for me when Eva's commentary, her confessionals, had me cracking up. And agreeing with her because she was like, I'm not gonna have that piece. Thank you for the super chat, Melinda. Norman, thank you so much for the super chat. Norman says Phaedra and Eva were the only ones who showed class and culture. The others acted as if they have never ventured out in the world. I mean, I'm trying to think. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting. I mean, I feel like Jill. I think Jill, who usually is a big personality, is not really shining supreme. Probably part of the reason why we didn't see her in the trailer a lot. So we're seeing that, even though there seems to be a little bit of a battle between Dorinda and Jill, but Jill is a lot. That's always been her personality, and that's why I feel like that's authentically Jill. The QVC thing, and then them constantly putting up the QVC little images. That's Jill. That's always been Jill. So that's why I feel like that is authentically Jill showing up. She always, I mean, I would want a friend like Jill because she'll be able to find me what I need when I need it. Let's be right. Let's be sure about that. Elsing says I would like Taylor to return. QVC Jill. Yeah, Courtney says Jill is overshadowed. Sis on the Move says Jill seems tame to me as well. Courtney says, how Jill come with her man trying to show she can be a housewife again? Hector says nobody liked how she walked in like she was important. Well, I think some of them knew what she was doing and some of them did not. The producers have to tell them in the confessionals what she was trying to recreate. And she was trying to recreate that moment at Scary Island. I mean, I knew that that's what was going to happen. I appreciated it because it is an iconic moment for Jill. Hello. Surprise. Oh, Deborah says I'm all right. There's some people in here that miss Taylor. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Taylor is stepping up. She's stepping up more than Jill at this point. So, okay. All right. I'm going to rewind just a little bit. So Dorinda has 3 rules for staying at the Bluestone Manor. One of them is no shoes upstairs. They're already breaking those rules. And no food or drink. They've broken those rules a couple of times. How do you guys feel about those house rules? She also said the 3rd rule is not really a rule. She's like, if you need anything, ask the lady of the manor, Dorinda. I'm like, Let me send, wait. Sister Moose says sound baths are like beaches out here in Cal. So why was Vicki and Tamara acting? Is it just the OC thing? They're not used to stuff like. I don't mind I love a sound bath. If you haven't done a sound bath, you should do one. TikTok. There are plenty of people on TikTok doing sound baths. I love a good sound bath. Uh-oh. Okay, wait. Hold on. Miss Brooklyn says, I can agree. Deborah says they all broke the rules. Not Dorinda. I mean, if she did, it's her house. I don't like it when people eat in my bedrooms either. I mean, she had some rules. I mean, I definitely understand about the food and drink and the shoes. I mean, I prefer when people take their shoes off. I don't need you tracking your germs from outside. And I mean, on the ground floor, you can wear shoes. Just saying. Gloria says, love sound baths. Christine says, I think they're reasonable rules. All right. Let's move on. So one of the other things, speaking of Vicki Gunvalson, she reveals to the ladies that, she just broke up with Steve Lodge. And that's when we found out some of the issues that were going on in her relationship. They hadn't had sex for 13 years. They haven't had sex for 13 months. Okay. For those of you that have been in a relationship for a very long time, after not having sex for 6 months, when do you realize that you have a problem? Because I would think that we've had a problem after 13 months of not having sex. And she said it's not like she hasn't tried. She tries to take his, what did she say, his wing, his ween? Not wiener. His winky? What did she say? I can't remember. Why? It's such a common terminology. I can't think of what she says. You guys will remind me in the chat. Mo says 2 months. 2 months. I mean, yes, if you live together. A wee wee. Thank you. Why can I think of that? A wee wee. Thank you. I mean, the fact that she referred to it as a wee wee, I'm like, really? I mean, I'm here with Dorinda when it comes to that. But the ladies were talking about returning the ring and what's the rules of returning a ring. But she bought that ring. She's not returning that ring. She's gonna return it to the person, the people that she bought it from, so she can get her money back. But the minute she bought a ring for herself, like I need her to get some self-esteem. And this might be a great time for her, these 8 days of being with these ladies, to get her self-esteem back. I would really be interested to see by the end of this trip, did she feel better about her situation or worse? As you know, things have played out on social media. Even recently, her calling him a loser in one of the, oh, I think it's Bravo Housewives on Instagram. He's like, he's a loser. I believe he was also in the comments section as well. Brooklyn Star, 13 months. Y'all are friends. 13 months? She's so sweet says, red flag, buying your own ring. But she even justified it in this episode. But again, they were fresh off their breakup. So she's still in her mind probably thinking that they might get back together. Rakita's Closet says the fact that she had to buy her own ring should have been a red flag. Not actor says she by herself, not another one. Oh, Robo Adventure says Kelly Dodd warned her about him. A lot of and the other ladies were chiming in because they also watch. Here's the thing: I like Eva's commentary. I don't know what Eva is wearing though during these episodes. I love her confession looks, but her looks for this trip. Beg a lady. I'm not loving it. Not loving it. But I'm loving Eva. I'm loving this different side of Eva. But I didn't love Eva when she came in, was just like falling all over herself for these like, hey, gorgeous. Hey, beautiful. Okay, girl, calm down with all that. Rakita says, wait, hold on. I lost Rakita's comment. Oh, Eva's on vacation bias. A little too much. You're filming a national television show. I know she did dress like that on Housewives. We didn't love it then either. Call Tyrone. Lord. Now she needs to shop at the archive. I saw that. All right. Brooklyn Star says Vicki stay financing a man. That's what I've heard. Looking like a hippie. And I know that's her natural go-to, but I didn't love it. But I'm really falling in love with Eva in these first 3 episodes. At first, I was like, I didn't love that when she first walked in. But then I'm liking her confessionals. I'm like, all right. I have to say the Atlanta girls are getting along with everyone. They're getting along with everyone. They're bringing the commentary. They're getting involved. At one point, what do they call themselves? Hold on, I wrote it down because the Scorpios, we talk that stuff here. The cookout crew. So that was Eva, Phaedra, and Brandi. I was like, don't bring her into the cookout crew, please. But they're all getting along. I like that, anyways. But things get really feisty towards the end of episode 1. Yes, we're still on episode 1. We're jumping around though. Brandi ends up having a all-out argument with Vicki Gunvalson and tells her to shut the F up. And Vicki was like, you will not do that to me. And I was like, okay, Vicki. I can see why Vicki has lasted so long on reality TV. I understand why people have found her entertaining. Is she an anti-vaxxer? Well, that's a whole other conversation. Oh, speaking of which, episode 2, Jill Zarin makes her appearance, and it was. I like Jill, though. I think Jill and Dorinda are going to have a thing. I'm interested to see what that thing will be like. That will be interesting. Do you guys want to see Jill Zarin come on Legacy? At this point, based on who can actually be on Legacy, you might not have a choice. Jill Zarin might come back. She might come back. So they have this entire episode. It says there's a Jill in the air. Jill, QVC Jill. But that's always been Jill. And that's why I feel like we don't get a lot of authentic people on reality TV. And I feel like that's what we're getting from Jill Zarin. That is Jill Zarin, I believe, on and off camera. She is a lot. She is a lot. Luella says, "Oh, Jill is more likable than Lisa." I can agree with that. I can. Uh-oh, Candace says no, Jill. I'm not feeling Jill. Uh-oh. I mean, look. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. That's Scary Island Part 2. How are you guys feeling about this season being at the Berkshires, though? I know some people have had mixed feelings about it playing at the Berkshires, including Jill. Jill's like, I mean, no offense to the Bluestone Manor, but season 1 went to a fabulous island, and we're here. Oh, thank you, Diana, for this information. And this interview ended abruptly. Yeah, we never finished that interview with Kevin McCall. So as you know, Kevin McCall is the ex and biological father of Eva's daughter, Marley. So Eva and Taylor are finding this friendship. I didn't see it coming. I like it. But they also talk about their own separate issues. As you know, we found out about Taylor's domestic violence issues with her late husband on the show, Camille. They even played the clip. So she's been through a lot. But we also know about Eva's struggles, and Kevin McCall, he'd been, look. And I did interview Kevin a long time ago, but that interview ended abruptly. I don't know what happened. He was supposed to call back in, and I'm still waiting. This was before he was a problem. And this was before Marley was even born. I don't know. All right. So Taylor and Eva are bonding. I like what's happening with them. It's nice to see these sweet moments, these true, because they feel authentic. They feel really authentic. All right. Let me just say thank you. We got a couple of super chats. Hi, Vibe. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hi, Vibe says production should have helped them, Brandi, Vicki, Tamara, with camera filters because all of the work they've had done really shows. Yikes. Yeah, and they didn't have any glam. The only person who had glam is Dorinda, right? That was the only person who had glam. And sidebar, the person who does her makeup, we saw him on Ladies of London. We've seen him on Roni. I forget his name, but he works with the Housewives a lot. He was Caroline Stanberry's makeup artist, I believe. So that was kind of like and he's worked with Dorinda multiple times too over the years. So I was like, okay, it's like a reunion of sorts. Norma, thank you so much for another super chat. Norma says, how can Vicki heal with Dorinda's tight schedule? I mean, so there are a lot of health issues, and we find out later in episode 3, I think it is episode 3, that Vicki has a sinus infection. But in episode 2, Vicki is recovering from COVID, but she hasn't had the vaccine. It leads to a conversation about the vaccine, and Dorinda explodes. However, Dorinda was also drinking. I'm not one to be able to tell when people are high or drinking, but it was very clear that Dorinda, because Dorinda starts, when Dorinda's drunk, okay? She starts slurring her words, and Dorinda was drunk. But I get why she was so passionate about what she was saying to Vicki, because Vicki was saying, well, I didn't get the vaccine because of, I have a pre-existing condition. Okay. But she also said that she was an anti-vaxxer, and she was spewing all the things that they spew when it comes to that whole situation. We won't even get into that. But I also understand why someone like Dorinda gets so upset about it, because she actually lost someone. I know a lot of people feel like this pandemic is over. We're really not. And there have been people that have been made orphans, like husband and wife I've seen multiple husbands and wives have died from COVID. So I understand why someone like Dorinda or Eva, they're like, we've lost like 10 people between the two of us. from COVID. So that conversation gets very heated. We have already reported on that being one of the things that we heard happen during the season, but it seems as if they've moved on from it. I don't know if it comes back, but it seems as if they've moved on from it. Okay. They go to that place to get their coffee things read. And has anyone been to a coffee reader before? Anyone? I've never been to a coffee reader, but I've heard of it being done. We've seen it being done on Roni. And I believe that woman really knows what she's doing because you remember before. But to see people like Brandi of all people was like, she could have Googled all this stuff about us. I thought Brandi of all people would really be like into it. But Dorinda gets sets off because Brandi and Eva are talking. But Eva brought up a really good point in her confessional. Why are you yelling at her and being mad at her when she's talking to me and I'm talking back to her? You're not mad at me. Dorinda always has this thing where she's like ends up being like the mothering child, but Brandi has that thing too where she's always sort of going towards someone to be the mother. She did it with LVP. She did it with someone else. She did it with did she do it? No, she didn't kind of do it with Kim Richards, but I feel like she's always trying to find her mama in a group situation. High Vibe says Seema Bell gave me a reading. She's the truth. Real. High Vibe, if you want to call in to talk about your I believe that she's good at her job. I believe it. Tina says Kempire says coffee, very New York. Okay, look, I'm from New York, born and raised. Okay. All right. Samara, thank you so much for the super chat. Samara says, I think they couldn't leave the country because Vicki didn't have the vaccine and you need to be vaccinated in other countries. This is true, depending on the country. Not all countries. Not all countries. I'm not going to mention the ones. I mean, a lot of people went to Mexico during the pandemic because Mexico was like, no, we need the money, come tourism. So a lot of people went to Mexico during the pandemic and came back with COVID. Oh yeah, I mean, she's a New Yorker. She's in Queens. I might have to go get my coffee read. I don't know why. I don't know why I need my coffee read, but it would be interesting to know. All right. Guys, we have over 700 people here for our Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip recap. If you're part of the replay crew, we want to know how you would rate this episodes, what you thought of what you've seen so far, who's standing out to you, and based on what you've seen, who do you believe should return? Based on what I've seen so far, the only one that's standing out to me that I need to return is Dorinda. And maybe Eva. I'm willing to give Eva another shot because I feel it would be organic because she's still friends with a good portion of the cast. So I'd be open to that. Phaedra is a whole other issue, y'all. Look, Phaedra's a whole other issue. Norma says, take your cold. This might be too big. I think you're supposed to have the little. I'm sure she's gonna have the coffee cups at her home, like she did with Dorinda. Norma says, no, Dorinda. What do you mean? Well, based on what we're seeing so far this season, Dorinda's angry side, Dorinda's drinking too much. I don't know if that's under control. And I think that's part of the reason why, they put her on pause. I really didn't expect Dorinda to be drinking this season. Lovey Mo says, Kempire, remember, Eva left voluntarily. I understand. I mean, okay, allegedly. But I believe Eva would come back. Uh-oh. NJ says, love Eva, but she won't fit in Atlanta no more. Oh, damn. ZZ says, Phaedra burned the bridge. I really feel like Phaedra's going to end up in Dubai. She's already talking about moving there and buying a home there. Storm says, my returns would be Phaedra and Eva to Atlanta and Taylor to OC. I thought OC because that's where she lives and she's actually friends with Tamra and Vicki, but they're no longer on the show. So then there goes that. There goes that. And I don't think Tamra's going to return to the OC. I don't think she's going to return because she's doing that podcast with Womp Womp Womp, Teddy Mullenkamp. Why was Teddy and Vicki going against each other? And I have to give it to Teddy. Her little comeback, she was like, since we're talking about numbers, where were you on January 6th? I said, you know what? That was kind of clever, Teddy. But I still don't want you to return to Beverly Hills or OC. Just saying. Eva should, well, she doesn't live in Beverly Hills. And I don't think she has Beverly Hills money. I mean, she has money, but I don't think she has Beverly Hills money. Just saying. Bag Lady says, I agree. No Phaedra ever. Right? Okay, Klaus agrees with me. Teddy came through with that. I thought that was quite witty, but I think people hate Teddy so much, they can't give her props ever. But you know how I twerk on the fence. I'm like, that was a good one, Nat. That was a good one. That was a good one. Now this I could see. I mean, I don't think she has that money either, but I wouldn't mind seeing Cynthia Bailey on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We've been talking about that for forever, but I don't know. Does Mike Hill still have that place in California? And is that even near Beverly Hills? You know, I don't know California. Candy can go for Phaedra to come back. I know. Look, y'all gonna start with that again. Sister Owner who says no to Teddy ever in this lifetime. Well, no, that's a given. That is a given. Guys, we have over 800 people here. Let's get to 300 likes, and I'll drop the call-in link for you guys to call in. However, shout out to our Royal Court members. We're going to drop the call-in link on the community tab for you guys first. If you'd like to become a member, you don't have to. Trust and believe, you don't have to become a member, y'all. You're still getting a lot of great content for not being a member. However, members, you know what it is. You know what you get. All right. If you'd like to become a member, though, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. That is a new link. All right. All right. Yes. Come on, 400 likes. All right. Let me drop this. Hold on, y'all. Let me go here. And I will drop the call-in link. I know one day I'm going to post it to the public and everybody gonna call in. But no, not today. I'm going to drop the backstage link for members to call in. And then we're going to get into episode 3 of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, season 2, Ex-Wives Club. And I saw a lot of you saying that you really are enjoying the season. When I first watched it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. This could get really boring being stuck in this house. But they've been very busy. Dorinda has been keeping them very, very busy. All kinds of stuff, sound baths, games. Episode 3, they're doing a competition. Eva won that, being high and all. Eva, before she even left, she was like, first of all, I didn't realize in Georgia that it wasn't legal for the, you know, the ganjas. look, the ganjas. So I thought that was interesting. But then again, I forget ATL, Georgia. But so she was like, her Brandi, they getting the reefers on. Someone said it's like camp. Gloria says it's like camp. I like it though, because it could get really boring. They're playing games. That game that they played, I don't know how you guys felt about it. The game where they asked the question to Jill Zarin. What do you, I forgot what the exact question was, something about her father. What do you not like about your father or something like that? And Brandi was like, national TV. And Dorinda lost it. Mind you, Dorinda in the same episode is trying to defend Brandi. She's got Brandi in her bed. Brandi's doing her makeup in Dorinda's room. Like, you just never know with Dorinda. One minute she's loving on you and acting like a mama. The next minute she's turning on you. I think it's the drink, though. That's another one that's an angry person when she gets drunk. I love me some Dorinda. I really do. But that could be an angry drunk. Let's be real. Amy, I'm loving the fact that Amy's here. She said, I'm just here for the spoilers. I haven't watched yet. Not the spoilers. Oh my goodness. They should have brought Kim Zolciak for Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip too. I forget about her sometimes. I don't know why. Or maybe intentionally. All right. At the end, what was it? At the end of episode 3, first of all, we find out that Vicki Gunvalson takes 30 pills a day. She's going through it, Vicki, during this trip. She's depressed. She's fighting with Brandi. She's arguing with Dorinda. But I'm not looking at Vicki like, oh, I'm not looking at Vicki like, oh, I understand why you were a housewife for so long. Interesting. All right. Hold on. Oh, Annie says that Dorinda is a control freak. That's for sure. She really is. She really, really is. High Vibe says, honestly, I would have liked Kim instead of Brandi. Oh, that would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. But in all fairness, these first 3 episodes, I feel like were centered around Brandi. Personally. All right. If you're a part of our Royal Court membership, head on over to the community tab. Already got a couple people backstage, but have we hit our goal? Hold on, let me go back here. Have we hit our goal? Let me go back to the live. Have we hit our goal? No, we haven't hit our goal. Let's get to 300 likes, and I'll post a call-in link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts on the latest episodes of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. We're live on multiple platforms. We're live on Twitch. Well, we're live on Twitch and Twitter. We're live on TikTok. We're also live on Facebook, the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. I want to hear your thoughts on what you guys thought of these episodes of season 2 and how you're feeling about it. A lot of people are having conversations. I'm actually really interested. We had a big debate earlier in the live about how you guys felt about Phaedra. I think maybe I expected more, and that's why I'm just sort of looking at Phaedra. I was like, do we really need you? Do we? We shall see. All right. Let me see. Diane said, no, it's like pulling teeth. I can't make you guys like the video, but as I always say, liking our video helps us, but it also helps other channels, especially the other channels that are watching and not liking. Yep, I said it. Like the video. How is it hurting you? You've been here for almost an hour. Why not like the video? It's okay. You don't have to. I'm gonna still shine. Just saying. Just saying. And let me go hit this oven because this oven is beeping. Hold on, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Uh-oh. And then we're gonna get to some callers. That will forever be one of my favorite beats. Okay, someone agrees with me. It's okay. But here's the thing. And if you're new to the channel, we say this all the time. You're free to have your opinion. You don't have to agree with me. It's okay. And sometimes you guys change my mind. And look, there's only the first 3 episodes. I might love Phaedra by the end of the season. You never know. What's cooking? I just have some Spanish food that I picked up. I am not cooking anything. I'm just keeping it warm in the oven, but the timer went off. Exactly. Norma's like, oh, dinner time for Kempire. Exactly. So callers, keep it cute and keep it quick. Just saying. All right. We hit our goal of 300 likes, but let's get to 400 likes, guys. We have almost 800 of you here. We should really have 707 something likes, but it's okay. It's all right. Not Puerto Rican, it's Dominican. But thank you. I love Puerto Rican food too. All right. Let me drop the call-in link. And guys, don't forget, a new episode of my podcast will probably come out over the weekend. So be sure to check that out. A visual version of the podcast came out yesterday on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to that, please subscribe. It's another way for you guys to make sure that you stay connected and you stay informed of any changes. God forbid anything was to happen here. God forbid. at least I'll be able to go live there and keep you updated on what's going on. Or just follow that page, please. And we're trying to get to, well, technically, let's get to 100,000 over there, but let's get to, at the very least, 10,000 over there on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. And you're getting content there as well. So don't miss out on that content on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel, but also subscribe to the Kempire Radio podcast, because although you get a visual version, there's certain things that I add to the audio version that I don't add in the video, or I may take out of a video for whatever reason. All right. Just saying. All right. Thank you, Oz Fly Girls. She's like, show Kempire some love, people. Hit that like button. Just saying. Kay, hold on. Kay says, I love Phaedra. It's okay. It's all right. We can disagree. Like, we can disagree. All right. Let me see also what you guys are saying. Hold on before we move on. Oh, I can see Eva in New York. Unfortunately, Eva lives in Atlanta, and I don't see her leaving Atlanta. Honestly, I really don't see her leaving Atlanta. It's really expensive to live here too. Welcome, Jax, to the membership. We appreciate you. Jax says, new subby. Love it, love it, love it. Every day we're getting new subscribers, and we appreciate you guys. Oh, before we get to the callers, go check out that OJ Simpson story that I did today. Oh, hell. You guys were talking OJ up, and all of a sudden he's back in the news. I blame it on you. We were talking about Jussie Smollett, and all of you kept on bringing OJ up in that video, and now OJ's back in the news. OJ Simpson's back in the news. Go check out that video after the live. All right. Sizzle Move said, I don't see that. Kay says it's her facial expressions. Hold on. High Vibe says, Phaedra has good jokes. The scene where she's petting Brandi's hair, telling her to be a good citizen. A mess. Spy Girl says, I like Eva. She lives some life and has depth. I think people are like, come on. I mean, I don't think she's broke, but she has a good. I mean, that's why so many people have left New York and they've went to Atlanta. They've gone down south. They've gone to certain places, and there's a high rate of people leaving New York. I just can't see myself doing it. Born and raised, I just can't see myself doing it. I just gonna work a little bit harder so I can live here. Just gonna work a little bit harder. Thank you guys for the super chats. You're helping me to pay so I can live in New York. All right, let's get to some callers, guys. Let's get to some callers that are backstage. Rakita, I'm gonna bring you up. What's going on, Rakita?
Hey, Kemp, you know who need to come to Beverly Hills?
Who?
Brandi, Ray J's sister.
No, leave her alone. Speaking of Brandi, she just signed a major record deal with Motown, her first in like 10 years.
Okay, Queen Shine. Let me go
give her
congratulations. I saw her post a couple of stories, but I had to adult today, so I couldn't really have the audio on. I know, that's whack. I know. But listen, I think y'all are taking Brandi way too seriously on this trip.
Glanville.
Yeah, Glanville. It's a girl's trip. And then who is taking somebody who's drunk as a skunk and they say shut the F up? Why are you taking that seriously? Like, she's drunk. We on a girls trip. I like when Eva told her, like, when they were outside talking, the cookout crew, and she said she called the girls B, and Eva was like, CCC, you see how we took that? We took that how you meant it. Those girls in there, that's not their vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that's Brandi's, like, her genre. Like,
when she calls them the B word, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no, you can.
Calls them the B word. I really feel like she's not calling, like, how she's talking with Eva and Phaedra. I really feel like she's really calling them a bitch.
You think that she's calling Eva and Phaedra like the BB? Really? I didn't get that vibe. I got she was trying to be, because I hate to, but when they're around us, sometimes they try to get extra cool. They think if they say something, it brings up the cool girl vibes. And I think that's what she was doing. I think she was trying to match what she thought their cool girl vibes was. But I just thought that Brandi was being drunk in the moment, playing around, and the other ladies, with the exception of the cookout crew, was taking her way too seriously. I just, but before
you're changing my perspective on it, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think she was just trying to have a good time, and they were just way too uptight.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Have a good one.
Wait. Before you go,
Okay.
how do you feel about the other ladies? You just had a
They
main on Randy.
yeah, that's it. The
Oh
cookout crew was
damn.
the only ones that entertained me. Like Dorinda, like ma'am, don't host the girls trip if you got so many rules. Like I don't like germs in my house. That's why I don't invite people over. Okay. If I'm gonna have a party or a girls trip, I'm gonna have a venue where things like that don't bother me. Because I promise you, if I'm on vacation, I'm eating Doritos, Cheetos. I'm gonna have some pumpkin pie, some cheesecake in the bed. Okay.
You are not
Mm-hmm.
invited to my house.
That's what I'm saying.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. But you gotta know you if you're like that. And see, I'm the only one that's allowed to eat like that in my house. So because I know that when people come visit, I be like, girl, it's a hotel right up the road. They got good customer service. You got to know yourself. But if you're going to host a girls trip when you know there's going to be alcohol involved, girl talk involved, you can't have all those rules. Or just don't do, because people ain't going to have fun. Like I can't wake
Part
up and
of
drink
the
my coffee in
rule,
my bed. Huh?
I think part of those rules was her trying to be the lady of the manor. So I don't think she was that 100% serious about it because she hasn't really corrected them on it.
Very true. Very true.
Just
That
saying.
is very true.
And there were only like literally like 2 rules.
That's well. See the taking off the shoes. I'm with you. Don't bring outside inside my house. But
Yeah.
I can't have a cantaloupe in the bed.
No, you went from Cheetos to cantaloupe? Okay, goodbye. Thank you, Rakita, for calling in.
Bye.
Don't invite Rakita to your house. Don't do it. She eat Cheetos, and probably like the red hot Cheetos. Imagine that on your sheets. I'm thinking about my comforter right now. I'm like, oh hell no. Got that red hot, and some of that stuff you cannot get out of your sheets. It's bad enough they probably got that body makeup on. You already know. Dorinda should be more concerned about the body makeup and all the other stuff that those ladies probably did. And I know some of you are talking about. Didn't Brandi Glanville talk about something that she had right before this? That's why her skin looks extra messed up. So bear with her. Bear with her. We know they've all done stuff to their faces and whatnot, but. All right, let's get to some more callers. We got Lovely Mo backstage. I'm going to bring her up. What's going on, Lovely Mo?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. So this show, I'm really enjoying it because I did not like season 1 with Kenya and that problematic lady. I
Really?
did not like that. No, but I do wish that they had this crew go to like an actual vacation spot, like the beach or something. Because I'm like, I don't watch Roni or Real Housewives of Orange County, so I don't know a lot of the people. But I'm really enjoying it. And Vicki, she is so entitled. Like I know she was sick, but even after she said she felt better, I feel like she's still acting the same way.
Yeah. She was acting straight from the jump. As soon as she was in the car, she was just like complaining.
Yeah, and it's crazy how her fiance broke up with her and she still went on the trip. Like,
Maybe that's like, she is one thing. Look, I don't watch OC chapter and verse, but I do know Vicki's about her money.
Yeah, and Brandi, I do watch Beverly Hills, so I know Brandi is kind of wild. Well, not kind of, very wild. But I am happy to see Taylor in a happier place. Yeah. Because like I forgot, because I watched I think Beverly Hills recently, but I only watched it one time, the old episode. So like the situation with her ex-husband is really sad, but But she's so calm when Brandi's like, that was the worst time in my life too. I'm like, well, her husband's the one who died.
Everybody was shocked.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? Let it go. Oh God. And then I miss Phaedra on our TVs, even though she is a liar. And I feel like after I almost said Aiden. What's her husband's? Apollo. After Apollo went to jail, her storyline, she just didn't offer anything. And she was being very shady with her life and just not being open. So if she does come back to Atlanta, I hope that she's a little bit more honest and kind of how she was like season 3 and 4 when she first came on. I feel like she was like an open book then.
I mean, was she?
I mean, it was very liar. It was very lawyer-irish, but but I feel like she was still a little bit more like when she was trying to become a go into mortuary science. She was very open. I feel like at least a little bit. Because she still just comes off shady now, where I'm like, well, what are you doing? What are you into? It's like she never answers things straightforward. It's
I feel like that's always been Phaedra.
maybe a little bit. Maybe I'm just not used to her, but I do enjoy. She's very funny and very weird. Like when she was like, and then when what's her name, Dorinda, when she was feeding her that lobster, and she's like, "Put your finger in my booty." I was like, Phaedra, but then that's so her. So I couldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, Mo.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. All right. We got a couple. No, we have at least 3. Oh, hey, we got more people that want the call link. I forgot to pin it. Hold on. Let me drop the call link. Guys, if you're just joining us, also understand it's 6:18 here in New York. That's dinner time. Okay. So I won't be here very much longer. You heard dinner was ready. Just saying. All right. Let me drop the call link and we're going to get to Robin. Robin, what's going on?
I was waiting to hear Miss Opinion tell us she was blessed by the best.
Oh, yeah, where is, in my opinion? I don't see it in my opinion backstage. Okay. She probably busy. She got a life. It's Friday. And she got kids.
Yeah, but that might be the next ultimate girls trip down to Alabama to go get her dinner from her. But anyway, I hope you're still open to the commentary about the news of the day, because I think that's really important. You said something at the beginning of this live about how important elections are, but it's not just elections, it's the local elections, because what we are experiencing right now is the acceleration of the erosion of our fundamental rights. People don't realize that when the Supreme Court ruled in Shelby v. Holder in 2013, they struck down Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. They put a lot of things in motion. So people are lamenting about women losing their reproductive rights, but there's been a systematic approach to taking away our rights over time. So the people who are in place now, a lot of them started out on the local school boards, local city councils, and they built their way up. And so they have really progressed to the point where we are now. A lot of people don't even know, for example, in that Shelby v. Holder decision, it affected places like Brooklyn. They said the Supreme Court said, if you want to change anything about voting and blah, 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 you have to go through a pre-clearance and include the places that you would never think that we had problems. So I also want to say that this decision overturned 50 years of precedent. It is our lawmakers' fault and ours for not pressing to have that law codified. But also remember, we know that we have lost a lot of our voting rights. Look at all the restrictions that have been placed. And just speaking and for the first time ever, for the Black community, people need to realize that Black people did not become become citizens fully able to participate in this process until 1965. So take that in. And I want to also say Amy's better than me because I don't watch it at all. And I don't watch the Housewives, especially from the California, mostly because of Vicki. And so I hollered when you said that Teddy asked her where she was on January 6th, because I wondered too. Vicki and her love for that other guy, the former guy, is exactly why I stopped watching that franchise. But with all that said, kind of happy Friday. People, do your due diligence. Please, please, please be sure to get out and vote. We are in primary season. If you're not able to get out and vote, please be sure to vote absentee.
Okay. All right. And we appreciate all of that information, Robin. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Robin was addressing what we started this live off of. For those that are just joining us, we were talking about the events of today. We don't get necessarily political, but you can't talk about pop culture all the time like we do here on the channel and not talk about what's affecting the population. So that was something that we were talking about today. Replay crew, we also want to hear your thoughts. You can talk about that. You can talk about what's going on here, but let's be respectful. Let's be respectful. And also, one thing that I posted, not to get dreary, I posted this on my Twitter and I said to myself, I noticed a lot of these influencers and social media folks passing away a lot recently. Be mindful of what you post, y'all, because you never know that nastiness that you want to post in the comment section. Yeah, look, y'all know I'm too busy to read all y'all hateful comments. Not y'all. Look, not y'all, but the haters that are watching and not liking the video. Y'all know I'm too busy, but every once in a while I read something and I'm like, oh, that was nasty. Be mindful of what you say because you never know if that was the one thing that makes someone do something that is very permanent. Just keep that in mind. All right. Oh, Lord, the backstage filled up. Okay, let me get to some callers, y'all. Again, backstage, I'm hungry. Because you're going to end up getting this voice. Let me tell you something. I'm ready to go. All right, back. All right. Norma's backstage. I'm going to bring Norma up. What's going on, Norma?
Kempire, I will be brief. You don't want to keep a tourist away from his food. My son is a tourist, and Lordy, does he eat. Okay.
He was a tourist.
Oh, yeah. But he's a April tourist.
Oh.
So good. So good. I just want to say the first episode of this thing, first of all, I appreciate what the previous caller said, and I agree 100%. And then about what she said, you know, what Teddy said to Vicki, I read some stuff where Teddy went to a church, or she goes to a church that's anti-gay. So let's just, okay, I'll put it out there. But yeah, it's over in the stratosphere. I digress. So I loved Dorinda in the first one. I said, okay, let me give her a break. What a gorgeous host she is. And I was appalled at these OC housewives coming in with their noses up, and they were as ignorant as anyone I've ever seen. They don't know what a clam bake is. They don't know what a sound bath is. They are so insulated.
I was about to say, like, I mean, maybe because I'm from the Northeast, but I was still sort of like, you know what a sound bath is? Okay.
There's sound baths every day over here. This is the thing in LA. But it's, you know, and it just showed such lack of class. And that's why I thought Eva and Phaedra were so classy, and they went along with it, and they were open to it.
Yeah.
I think Brandi plays these people. She's messing with their heads. She's the stuff that she knows what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
She's nobody's. She loves to get a rise, especially out of people like Vicki, who is so easy to, to bother. And when we got to the further episodes with Dorinda, she just became hateful to me.
Right.
I mean, she got upset because Brandi was warning Jill, but I got games. Because they had fun at the penis games. Who would not have fun at a penis game? You got to blow it up. It's all good. And then when she was doing the lasagna thing and Brandi was sharing her ingredients, she trashed her. That's how a host is. I really think that she is very competitive, and she has issues with other housewives because she's that thirsty.
Oh, well, you did notice one of the things that she said in one of the episodes, that she said she's just scared of being irrelevant. And they were like, oh, you mean about being on the show? And she said no. But I was like, well, I mean, this is your claim to fame, really.
She got very offended by that comment.
Yeah.
And then when Brandi said, hey, you're on national TV, she goes, we've all been on TV. That's front and center. She was showing off her house. She was auditioning to come back. Speaking of thirsty, that reminds me of food. That reminds me it's time for me to get off. Have a blessed weekend. Don't forget to vote out there, you folks. We got to take our rights back, because it's like a thread. It starts unraveling. That's all I got to say. All right. Love to everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Norma. Bye. All right. Wow. We have a lot of people, so I'm going to try and get through everyone. I just highlighted a couple of, Amy, thank you so much for the super chat. Amy says, I'm late on here, but I have to say, I really hope we don't get mean Dorinda the whole time. I mean, that was perfect super chat timing after Norma, what she said. I know it's starting to feel that way. And I'm like, that's not what we want, Dorinda. But maybe Dorinda's just not ready to come back. Oh. Ruth Ann says, when you get older, Kempire, the cold weather hits different. I know why people leave. I understand. I mean, winters in New York are not the greatest. I mean, but if I live in a high-rise apartment, just say it. Diana, not happy Pride, Teddy. All right. Yeah, Tila says Dorinda gets more crazy the more she drinks. And I thought maybe she would limit the drinking, if she would drink at all during the season. I still love Dorinda, though. All right, I'm going to bring Tati up next. What's going on, Tati?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm late to the party. I
okay.
have not taken the full time to watch it just due to the fact that I am still upset about Phaedra.
What do you mean?
That lie is a lie that could damage people.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Candy was not damaged, but she takes no accountability for what she did.
Mm.
And so for that, I'm just kind of like, ugh. And then you have the two, I wouldn't say the two biggest villains, but Brandi and Phaedra on the same show. I can only imagine. I hope that those two do not get along. Because if those two were to team up, could you imagine what damage they would do? Let's just be honest.
Getting along.
And Brandi's Botox is looking a little trash. I saw the preview. Let's just be honest. Her Botox is trash. And I'm going to say this. To the lady who was talking about voting and everything like that. I'm in a very liberal state. My governor is an openly gay man who's married to another man, obviously. But, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say that I feel like I'm going to be safe because, how do I put this? We have people who are going to want him to enforce these new laws.
Mm-hmm.
People need to understand, and I'm going to say this. Vote, yes, but vote, you have to, but at the same time, do your research on your judges, your student council president, the alderman. Do your research on everybody, especially these judges, because keep in mind, these judges, in most cases, want to become Supreme Court. And if you can get them from not being in office because their views are so toxic, let's nip it in the butt now. Yeah. And that's all I have to say. Kempire, thank you for, letting me voice my opinion.
That's okay. We love it.
We're there.
Thank you for calling in.
You have a good day.
You too. All right. Also, and just a reminder too, one of the other things that came out today in regards to the overturn of Roe versus Wade, and if you read further in, they are looking at other decisions, including the decisions on contraception, gay marriage. So this is why I tell you, I live by the quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So even if someone tweeted me, I don't think this is an injustice. Well, Nia, you don't think this is an injustice, but other people do. And what will happen is something that you consider injustice will come up and will be overturned as well. And then you'll be like, oh, just saying. Thank you for the reminder. Melissa, we see each other because if you listen to my podcast, I talk about this because a lot of people are having conversations about Carlos King, and Carlos has denied this. I'm going to put it out there. Carlos has denied being the producer behind telling Phaedra this candy rumor. He's denied it. But based on what I'm seeing play out, do you think maybe that's why Phaedra hasn't taken any ownership and she hasn't thrown him under the bus? Just a thought. Just a thought. But at this point, Phaedra, and I wonder if the agreement between Phaedra, Carlos, and production and Bravo that they wouldn't go that route. Who knows? Who know? Now Data's inviting us to New Zealand. Before he wouldn't let us in the country. All right, let me look. I'm getting hungry, and we got a chef backstage too. That's not helping either. All right, Miss Brooklyn, I'm gonna bring you up for a quick comment. Hold on, Miss Brooklyn. Okay, Miss Brooklyn.
Hey, hi everybody. I agree. First, real quick, I agree with the voting. It's important you vote in every election on every level for everybody, and we got to turn over the Congress. We've got to turn over Congress, and we got to do it this year. And then we've got to push Biden to expand the Supreme Court. That's the
sidebar.
only way.
I'm sorry, not to interrupt you, Ms. Brooklyn. Sidebar. We also need to start putting more pressure on Democrats. Democrats aren't innocent here either.
This is true. Yes, we got to make them stand up and take accountability for what we put them in office for.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to expand the Supreme Court. You cannot let this stand. So that's that. I made quick notes as far as Dorinda and her house rules. I don't find her house rules to be all that crazy. You come in my house, you take off your shoes too. A lot of people, I know that's their rules. You come in their house, you take off the shoes, and not eating in the bedrooms. Yeah, I can understand that, especially if you live out in the country. It brings bugs, it brings ants, it brings critters into the house. So I don't see why that is such a big deal. That's nothing to me. Keep the food where food belongs, in the kitchen. As far as Brandi and Dorinda, I think Brandi and Dorinda are two of the same people. I think in 20 years, Brandi is going to be Dorinda. They're both mean drunks. When they get drunk, they get mean, they get nasty, they get disrespectful. That's just plain and simple. Think about it. Brandi got drunk, and the first thing she's going to do is she's going to turn to her friend Eva, who's had her back this entire time. Oh, I thought your man was a mangina.
Oh, that I forgot to talk about that. Thanks for bringing that up.
So Brandi's not playing anybody. She's an alcoholic. She's a mean drunk. Her tongue is loose when she's drunk. And I'm with some people. I know the type of person I am and who I was in my 20s and 30s, my 20s and early 30s. I'd have caught a case because she'd have caught hands. She'd have said something to me like that, and she'd have caught hands. I can agree with Vicki in the sense that if I tell you you're not going to speak to me like that, you're not going to speak to me like that. Not, oh, well, we'll see. No, you're not going to speak to me like that. And I don't see a difference between men and women. If a man spoke to a woman like that, everybody would be up in arms. If I told a man, you're not going to speak to me like that, you're not going to tell me to shut the F up, you're not going to call me this, you're not going to call me that, every woman back there would be like, that's right, that's right, that's right. Just because that's a woman, I have the right to tell somebody, you're not going to talk to me any which way out your behind and think I'm going to sit back and take it. We're not cool. We're not friends. We just met. Know your place, know your role, and don't speak to me in that way. The other thing for Vicki, if you watch the beginning, I don't think Vicki knew about the breakup until she was already there, because when the cars were picking them up, it seems like the cars were picking them up from hotels.
Yes.
So they were already in the Berkshires when she found out about it, because Vicki is annoying and a pain in the butt, but Vicki is usually pretty happy-go-lucky, drinking, woo-hoo, whooping it up when she's on a vacation. So I think she didn't find out about what happened until she was already there. And so she's trying to deal with that. The other thing with Vicki is she needs therapy. She's the type of woman who needs a man in her life to validate herself. It probably goes back to her childhood. She doesn't feel right without a man. Like every episode, she's always talking about having a man. I need a man. I don't want to be alone. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. That's some real, self-esteem trauma kind of thing, where you a 60-year-old woman and you still talking about you need a man, need a man, need a man. Yeah. So I know you wanted to get dinner. I just wanted to get that out really, really quick. Talk to you later. Everybody have a gorgeous, wonderful, blessed weekend. And please, please, please vote, vote, vote.
Definitely. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to get to some more calls. K-Fizz says, but Dorinda ain't sexual in regards to the comparison that Brooklyn just made about Dorinda and Brandi. But they did talk about her sex life on I forgot what episode it was, but in the first 3 episodes, they were talking about Dorinda's sex life. We didn't need that. Norma says, true, I forgot about the mangina. That was not cool. That's when Eva kind of turned. Eva don't play about her husband. That's when Eva sort of turned on Brandi. Brandi, I keep telling you, like at first when I saw Brandi for the first time on episode 1 and she wasn't drunk, I was like, oh, Brandi can be sweet. And then I quickly forgot, even when she's not drunk, she just says things and you're like, what? I couldn't be friends with her. I bet she doesn't have like really good friends like that. She probably has friends very similar to herself. Just saying. Just my own thought. All right. Chef Don is backstage. I'm going to bring him up. What's going on, Chef Don?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can. Perfect. First of all, I wanted to say Brandi, we have to remember she is the same person that slapped LVP. And she does like to provoke people. So the comments that she makes, she likes to see how far she can get with people. Like, it's very calculated, right? I'm here for Eva. I didn't really care for Eva on ATL, but she's definitely giving me a different side of her, especially with the Taylor story. Her and Taylor, I like that. Phaedra, she's comical. Side note, yeah, I do believe Carlos may have said that. But anyway, overall, I think it's good. I think, 8 episodes, I think is enough. I'm with you. I will get very bored with them just being in the home. Yeah. Although I do think Dorinda has, like you said, has given them a lot to do. And Dorinda, please don't be a mean girl the entire time. I'm with you. I like Dorinda, but don't do this to us. But that's all I have.
All right, Chef Don. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right.
Bye. Okay. Again, Diana, just a reminder in regards to joining the channel, the link is teamkempire.com/join. For if you would like to guys to become a member. Shout out to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. We appreciate you. Again, links to all of that will be available in the live chat. We'll be posting links in the description of this video as well. Samara, thank you so much for the super chat. Not me pressing the wrong button. Samara says, I liked Eva when she told Vicki, I'm not the one. Eva's showing a side of herself that I'm enjoying so far on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I'm enjoying her so far. I'm enjoying her. I'm not enjoying the fashions though. I don't know what Eva. I mean, Eva, first of all, she doesn't need a lick of makeup. She's a beautiful woman. But the fashions and things she's giving us, I'm like, girl, you know this is being filmed, right? I know you see the cameras. Damn. All right. Kari's backstage. I'm gonna bring her up. What's going on, Kari?
Hey, Kempire. How you doing?
Hello?
Hello?
There we go.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, today is a day, ain't it? So I know you're hungry, but I wanted to tell people, like, just in case they did not know, that there are some states that will not be affected by Roe v. Wade being overturned, and that is California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington. So if you are in those states or if you are adjacent to those states and you need to have a procedure taken care of, you can breathe easily today. Okay, a little bit easier than the rest of us. Okay, so now on to the Ultimate Girls Trip. Phaedra, you blended very well with those white girls, okay? I could barely tell any difference. Like, you blended in very well. Eva, it's nice to see you show up and do some work, okay? Isn't that why you were fired? Because you kept getting knocked up so you wouldn't have to do any work on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So it's nice to see you show up and do some work, be a little spicy. I don't know who those other women are, to be honest with you. I don't watch those shows, but I do agree with, like Brooklyn said, any rule that I have for my house is a rule that I have for my house. All right. So if you gonna enter it, you just gonna have to follow it, or you're gonna have to leave. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's disrespectful. As long as it's not like demeaning to you and personal as a person. Like if one of my rules is get naked, yeah, I'm being a little outlandish. But if I'm saying take off your shoes, use a coaster, don't raise your voice. Like that's what I'm saying. Do that. It's called having manners. Have some couth, okay? And I want all of the Phaedra lovers to know, this is my last sentence. This is a soft opening. Like they're preparing us as a soft opening, bringing Phaedra back, for bringing all the other racists back as well. Like if we accept Phaedra, Black people, Black women, we accept Phaedra back into the Real Housewives of Atlanta umbrella and whatnot. We're happy. We're going up for her. We want her on TV. What do you think? Like, isn't that an excuse to bring all the other people that they've banished off of Bravo for having some sort of disgusting thing happen, such as being racist? So while you're going up for Phaedra, you're happy for Phaedra and her allegation. Like, let's not forget that. Like, ape ruins people's lives, and so does false allegations. Okay, like that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So while you're going up for wanting Phaedra back, think of all the white people that are going to go up for wanting their faves back for being racist. And now they have a precedent. They're setting a precedent that as long as you are out for so long and you have enough fans that want you back, does not matter what we've kicked you off for. Remember that. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, Kari. Kari was like, all right. Uh-oh. Foxy's like, Carlos started it, not Phaedra. Well, there is a level of responsibility if you're going to repeat something like that. The same reason why we're like, why didn't Portia get any backlash? Because she's grown enough to know better too than to repeat something like that without any sort of information, and to say that on camera. She got away real clean with that as well. All right. We're going to get to these last couple of callers. I have Sharon. I have Anthony backstage. I'm going to get to them, and then I'm out of here. If you're just joining us, we're talking about The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2, Ex-Wives Club, Replay Crew. We want to know your thoughts. What did you think of the first 3 episodes? How would you rate them? Feel free to break it down. Like episode 1 was a 7, but episode 2 was a 10. I want to know. All right, Sharon, I'm going to bring you up. Hold on. Hey, Sharon.
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Well, how you doing?
Hey, I don't care what the last caller said. I need my Faye back.
Okay.
She was good talking about that bacon. It wasn't no Georgia bacon.
Oh, best.
And Eva, I love Eva, and I would love to see her back on the Housewives, but she's got to stay on All the Queen's Men for me, because she rocks on that show.
Oh, you really like her on that show? I haven't watched it.
Yes, I do. You gotta watch it. It's good. And I'm waiting for the second season.
Okay.
It is
I heard
really
that
good.
that's coming soon too.
Yeah. And if you think Brandi is pre-producing, that's Brandi. And you gotta love her or hate her, but that's Brandi. Yep. But Dorinda, oh my God. You get a couple of drinks in Dorinda, and that's it. That is totally it. So I don't know if she's gonna be able to come back to New York or not. If what Andy's gonna think about, this season. But so far, this season of the girls' trips, this is the best one. This was better than the other one.
Really? I'm seeing a lot of people say that.
It is way better. They started out way better.
Okay.
Yeah. And Vicki should have just stayed home. And for number one, Vicki did know that Steve Lodge broke up with her before she came on the trip.
Okay.
Yeah, she did know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their relationship pretty much was over 13 months when they weren't having sex.
It was over 2 weeks for me. Well, Kempire, I'm going to let you go so you can eat.
Thank you.
And you have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks, Jared.
Bye-bye.
I love the fact that you guys know I need to eat. Just saying. Wow, it's already almost 7 o'clock. We've been live for almost 2 hours. Where does the time go? All right. There was a question that I wanted to ask. I can't remember what it was. Damn it. It'll come back to me. All right, Anthony's backstage. We're going to bring Anthony up. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, Kempire.
How
Anthony
are
from
you?
Los Angeles, California. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. So I'm loving this season so far instead of season 1, just because I haven't seen these ladies on a modern current season of Housewives. So that's refreshing to me. I've only seen a couple of them from like memes, compilation videos, best moments, but not as a full-on season. So I'm very curious of this cast to see how they go from Ultimate Girls Trip. For me, for episode 1, I'm gonna rate that a 9 out of 10. I love the introductions. I love everybody's interactions with each other. I didn't think they would get along this good on camera, so that was a surprise to me, but in a great way. For for episode 2, I'm gonna give that a 7, just because Jill kind of brought it down for me. I'm not familiar with her. Who is she? Can someone please tell me? I know she was on for 4 seasons of New York. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not from that time. I'm sorry.
You
So I'm
watched
not
it, though.
from.
It was good.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go on Peacock and watch that. But I haven't seen like much like appreciation posts or like talked about from Jill. So that's where I get my moments from. So I need to really do my research on Jill. And then for the 3rd episode, I'm gonna rate that about a 7, just because I feel like everybody is going up on Brandi, but I mean, what else are they gonna do? I would have liked for them to go more into each other's stories to see like why, like how is their life going? How is it different from before on TV, after TV? So on, especially for Phaedra, because of what happened with Candy, to see her especially. I'm not sure if she would go back to Atlanta. I would love to see her just because I love seeing her here now. But again, from what Kari said, she made a good point. So I rather not. But so far, I'm loving this season. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 so far. Better than the first, since I've only stopped after 3 episodes, just because Ramona's a no for me.
Oh.
But thank you so much, Kempire, for having me on.
Have a great one, Anthony.
Likewise.
Bye. That's interesting. But you know what? I agree with Anthony. It would have been nice because there's so much. Even Brandi and her story and how she's co-parenting with her ex, that's in a better place. Maybe, this is only the first 3 episodes. I believe there's supposed to be like 6 or 7 episodes. It will be interesting to see, like, her talk about it, because I've heard her talk about it a little bit, but just to sort of see how that plays out. I don't know if the Phaedra stuff will come up during this, but it should. That was the last season that you were on. Why not have that conversation and talk about, what's been going on? We haven't really dug deep into what's going on with the ladies. That's actually a really good question. Let me say thank you. We got a super sticker. Thank you so much, Candace, for the super sticker. We appreciate you supporting the channel. Shout out to everyone that sent in a super chat. We appreciate you. Samara, thank you so much for a super chat. So that the end of episode 3 was fun. It was too funny though. What happened at the end of episode? Oh wait, when she almost choked, when Vicki Gunvalson almost choked, because she takes 30 pills and she almost choked on her horse pill, and Tamara saved her life, and she's like, "You need to stop taking those pills." Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Samara, for the super chat. That's true. I was like, oh. Replay crew, let's continue this conversation there. I want to know your thoughts on each episode of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. And we'll see. I don't know if they're going to release another 3 episodes next week and be one and done. I don't know. We shall see. We will be recapping it here. Be sure to check out some of the recaps that you missed this week and the pop culture news that you may have missed this week so far. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Shout out to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. To become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. But if you're on your computer, just click the join button as well. And don't forget to show love to our moderators. Yes, so we're able to have these conversations about what's going on in the news today, but also talking about the Housewives and how you have a difference of opinion when it comes to the Housewives. We have over 600 people, almost 700 people here. Let's get to 500 likes. Liking the video is an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels that talk about similar topics. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to we've got a couple of super chats. Hold on. Okay. Wait, I'm gonna shimmy. Let me shimmy. You guys just sending in the dollars. Are you trying to help me pay my New York City rent? Danielle says, a happy date night. Thank you to everyone who supported my women's hygiene drive. And thank you, Kim, for allowing me to share on your platform. You are very welcome. And of course, when we recap Love and Marriage DC, we'll be talking about this hygiene drive again next Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So congrats, Danielle. And of course, Candace, thank you so much for another super chat. Candace says, can you attach a heart thanks icon so we can donate to your videos anytime? I did. Didn't I? Oh, you know what? I think because it's live right now, you're not able to do it. But if you go to my other videos, let me just make sure. And what Candace is referring to is another way for you guys to be able to donate to the channel when you go to some of my other videos. But oh, I think something happened. Why did they take it off? Thank you for that. Something must have happened because that wasn't me. It was there before. All of a sudden it's not there. But I'm gonna add that so that you guys are able to do that. But I think maybe because we're doing a fundraiser. But thank you for the reminder, Candace. Don't forget, guys, we are raising money for the Trevor Project for Pride Month. So if you check out this video after we're done being live, or you check out any of our videos from this month, you'll see the option on the right-hand side to donate. Or if you're watching from your phone, it'll be right under the video. We're trying to get to over $1,000 for the Trevor Project. All right. So be sure to check that out. For those that are wondering how you can donate to Danielle's hygiene project, just check out our Love and Marriage DC recap, because she's doing it for the homeless women in DC. Be sure to check that out. And there's more information in the description of that video. Thank you to everyone that donated to the drive, that donated to our fundraiser for this month. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you to our moderators. Thank you to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. Time for me to go eat. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. So yes, when you have a fundraiser, the thanks button won't come up on that fundraiser. So it's okay. We're trying to raise money this month. So if you can and you want to, donate to our fundraiser. On the other videos where we don't have the fundraiser, you are able to click the thanks and send donations to the channel. So I just noticed that. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. Happy Pride. I'm out of here.